Hey, what's up, pilot? I'm Zackie-Senpai and welcome back to another SMC videos. And in today's videos, we're basically gonna be covering another mecha review. Personally, I have done Neutron Stars as well as Raven, but I personally do not think they are very complete. So this one is gonna be a very long one because I really want to try to cover a lot of things about him. So in today's episode of mecha review, we're basically doing none other than the Knight of Chivalry, the Kings of Night, or Sword Boy, whatever you want to nickname him, Arthur. So yeah, let's get down to it. Hey, it's just a gaming channel. So again, this is coming out from my personal experience, and I am not saying that this is gonna make you a pro Arthur, but at least it's gonna kind of make you understand the beginning or the basic mechanics of Arthur, or whether you're trying to fight an Arthur. Maybe this video will help you a lot. So yeah, and also one more thing is that as of today's video, maybe Arthur may subject to change in the future, so I do not know. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to, stay updated with me. So yeah, starting off, Arthur profile, very simple. He's one of the ace fighter for the Singularity War. I'm actually not into the lore of SMC, I just basically play for the game. But since we're doing a profile review, right? So he's one of the war which I think Singularity War is kind of like a war before the Mega tournament or something like that. So he's one of the most popular mecha in the league. The booster on his back, if you notice, he has a boost behind and as well as on his knee, behind his knee, posterior to his knee. Actually gives him mobility, which is his dash. And he also wields a giant deal. Sword. Why did I put that? Now again, his pilot is none other than Rome. Height 180 cm, weight 70 kg, and his date of birth is November 11. He is a male, obviously, and he is a former ace pilot. He is voiced by Tomokazu Seki, who apparently voiced a character in Final Fantasy Kingslave. I'm not sure. Now, a bit of his history, right? He's former ace mecha pilot and senior operative, whose career came to a stretching halt when he suddenly became wanted for 8 years. So Rome actually went to prison for 8 years because he betrayed his thing and something like that. So after coming out, he decided to participate in the Super Mecha Champion tournament. And then what he liked is he liked whiskey, just like a Ivan. And then he also liked chocolates. You can actually see he's eating Pocky right there. And what he disliked is being called uncle. So again, you had to be, I think, an adult to be in war and being in the prison for 8 years. I'm guessing he's around 28 or 26, something like that. I'm not gonna try to assume things here. Now moving on to Arthur's ability. His ability primary skills is none other than his EMT Blade. Unleash area blade attack that causes paralysis to target mecha on the 4th hit and temporarily disable it. So do keep in mind that this does not stack. So every time it hits 4 times, your opponent will get stunned, but hitting it again will not add to the next count. So I recommend you using his secondary attack, Whirlwind Charge, to kind of like take out the opponent. Once they're out of the stun again, you can use your EMT again. That's the way to play it. And do keep in mind that the EMT blade, while you're using it, does keep you sustained on the air for quite amount of time. So maybe you can use that to actually generate the cooldown for your dash as well as a Whirlwind Charge. Now his secondary attack is none other than Whirlwind Charge. His melee attack, giving you raw massive damage amidst the energy for Arthur to launch 3 charging slashes for significant damages. And actually, a normal user will assume that Arthur only has 3 dash, but a veteran or a pro will understand that Arthur actually has 6 dash. And will top it out, Whirlwind Slash actually take you, I call it slash, actually take you to a short distance for pretty decent. Like instead of dealing damage, you can actually use this to get away. Closing distance, it saves your field, so I recommend using this before using your dash sometimes when you're closing into battle, because you in battle you actually want to use jump, and that does consume field. So again, aerial leap, his jump. Arthur is the only mecha with double jump here, and he's actually one of his propulsion module actually extend his double jump to a higher height. Nothing much to talk about there. Actually very useful when closing in or getting away as well. Tactical advance, basically his dash, right? Use backside propulsion to perform short distance tactical advance. He has 1 dash, but depending on what core menu you play, if you're playing at Turbojet, it actually grants him 3 dash. Very useful. Where compared to Firefox, right? Firefox like can't jump and dash at the same time. Arthur can actually do that, which makes him very flexy. Now, discussing about his modules, right? We're gonna go one by one: attack, defense, propulsion, and we're gonna talk about their sequence here. Attack modules, number 1, frantic charge. This is the one I would recommend you to go for. Minor, moderate, massive, increase in damage, whirlwind charge damage. Lightning blast, not so useful because paralyzed people doesn't mean that you're taking them out very quickly. I don't know if there's people playing this, but most of the people here in SMC, especially the Asians who I know, we all go for frantic charge. It's a better way to take out your when you're playing Arthur. It's a better way you take out your opponent as fast as possible. Now, defense module, right? I would go for energy conversion because when you're using Arthur, he dashes a lot, he jumps a lot, so all those fields that use up will be spent into shield, actually giving him a little bit tanky because Arthur actually plays an aggro role mid DPS in a team play. So yeah, convert 30 your field to shield that make you last long a little bit there, but doesn't mean that you should be tanking right there. Versatile fighter, increase 3-second damage suffered for 10, 15, 20% during a whirlwind charge. I won't say this is useless, but maybe it would take you both of these. Like one is giving you extra armor, one is reducing damage. I would rather take the field one, the energy conversion. I'm not sure about this versatile fighters. I rarely see people use that. Well, people usually go for energy conversion for the armor. So yeah, moving on to the next thing is the debate between every Arthur users, which is better, Blade Master, Power Leap. No such thing is better. It depends on your playstyle, and I would recommend that you play long enough to get used to this. Now, Blade Master increase 10, 20, 30% to fight velocity of blade. Now, it doesn't state very clear here. I need friends to actually explain this to me. So Blade Master actually increased the EMT. In case you forget what EMT is basically his slash travels a lot faster than his normal speed. So when playing with this instead of Power Leap, right? Power Leap actually grants you height on your double jump. You actually lose the jump. So mobility wise you get poorer, but Blade Master actually helps you into taking out your opponent a lot faster, and it's very useful when it comes to Hurricane, Andromeda, or an Arthur fight, depending on your experience. Power Leap, very useful, especially when you're playing at skyscrapers, Eiffel Towers, places like that you need an extra jump. Not saying that Arthur is very useless, especially on skyscraper. He just needs a lot more time to getting up into a higher ground. But I would prefer Blade Master because it travels faster, it's annoying, because EMT is predictable, so if you can increase the speed, why not, right? Last but not least, his core module, Turbojet or Nightcore. Definitely Turbojet. I would always take mobility over damage or attack speed or movement speed because Turbojet doesn't have cooldown. It's fast. You want to avoid taking damage. You're an aggro, but you don't want to be taken out so fast because you're an aggro. So yeah, Turbojet, very useful, triple dash. Nightcore, I was told that there are people capable of pulling this core to its full potential, but I've seen a lot of people. I haven't seen the one that's really good. So Nightcore actually increased your movement and attack speed, but it has a cooldown of, if I'm not mistaken, about 28 or 38 seconds. I can't remember, but I would never want to deal with a cooldown here, guys. So yeah, Turbojet. But I do see a point where Nightcore can shine is when the ace time circle is getting very small and there's not a lot of place to dodge. So maybe if you're lucky to be able to pick up a corpse, right? Maybe you can activate a Nightcore. Who knows? Depending on you. If you know how to play this, do leave it down in the comment section below because I'm really curious. Now again, modules probability. Now there's a debate where people say, should Raven get it first or should Arthur get the core first in a team play? Definitely Arthur. Raven, even though he's not a frontliner, even though some people use him like that, but some people use him when he has a core, so he's still able to shine playing from behind. So Arthur being the main aggro, he really needs the core here. He's basically not really useful without his core, but of course he has his whirlwind slash to dash away. But 6 dash is better than 4 dash, right? So second, depending, actually I didn't really complete this. Second, depending on what you want to play, right? If you want to play the aggressive type, then maybe attack modules first, but if you want to play the safe type or from distance using your EMT, maybe propulsion with Blade Masters. And third is your defense module, not really that important. What's important is basically his attack and his propulsion modules, depending on what roles you want to play. That's up to you, man. And next thing I want to talk about is the pilot secondary ability. Now, what I recommend, things may differ from your senpai or your sensei. Combat control, not a lot of people use, but it does reduce the cooldown. Maybe Whirlwind Slash might be able to take you out, but I don't recommend it because even though the cooldown has improved, it doesn't mean that you have the feel to use them. Expert Charge, definitely I always take feel when I'm using Arthur. And Extreme Firepower, I do switch it into this in between. Sometimes you're playing the aggro, you lose a lot of HP, and losing HP durability will grant you a lot more damage. Strong Interference, increase 15% duration of debuff. His stun is one of the debuffs, so yeah, maybe that could really help you a bit. But I would still take Feel or Extreme Firepower. Now the rest below, I'm not gonna touch them so much. Okay, strategy on how to play Arthur is very, how to say, be water, flexible, but I'm gonna tell you a couple of tips that you could actually implement. There may be more tips out there, but jump slash is possible, especially Hurricane or Andromeda about to kick up and fly away. You can, sometimes they fall and then they regain a little bit more of feel, so you can jump and slash. And then jump, dash, whirlwind slash. Always go with dash and then jump first. Actually, it kind of gives you this speed like that. And then whirlwind slash. Sometimes you want to save your feel, so you want to approach the fight with your whirlwind slash. And then when the whirlwind slash is cooldown, you actually play around with your EMT. And then by the time you stun your opponent, maybe your whirlwind slash is already done in the cooldown section. And then slash and dash back. Sometimes you're fighting Kuma or something that has AoE or spread shot, dash back or side dash, especially hostile, that could really help you as well. And then when it comes to Arthur, right, King of High Ground, I don't know why I put the name right there, but do keep in mind that he's very strong on high ground, especially when you're fighting Fire Stars or something that has trio, right, Doomsday. They have hard time aiming at you on top, or maybe Raven because he's very dependable on his explosive arrow. So yeah, when playing Arthur, it's very important that he goes high ground, especially fighting. There's also that one thing, but I'll cover the mech later. And then playing from low ground, right? When you play from low ground, EMT is very slow, so you wanna like take your shelter in, do a couple of slash. If you're playing a team play, slowly go take blocks and blocks in to slowly approach him. Again, Arthur, you do want to utilize a lot on his jump pad, especially when you're playing DM in the Extreme Sport Ground. And jump pad is a lot useful. Most of the jump pad on the BR, right, are very exposed, so it's very useful on team play. One-on-one is good, but when you're ambushed, it's very bad. You're really exposed on the map. We'll talk about that later. And one of the mistakes I make as an Arthur is that I always spend a lot of fuel. So do keep in mind that always keep your fuel above 70%, but if you cannot, at least keep it 50%, because I have a habit of going ahead of my teammates as well. And when I'm caught off guard, I don't have fuels, I don't have dash. Always save one dash for emergency. Use your whirlwind slash, get away as well, and then keep your fuel around 50 or 70% above, because he eats a lot of fuel. Talking about the map, has a lot of things to cover. On the left side, we have the BR map. On the right side, this tiny little map. I'm gonna just explain what about the BR. Now, hopefully the cursor is captured. On this island over here, I don't think Arthur has any problem. Try to get the high ground. If you're from the low ground, at least hide behind the rocks and try to close in slowly, especially in team play. I'm not saying that he's completely useless on low ground, you just have a hard time. You can still shine, man. Fishing village, a lot of blocks to cover yourself. Grand Shine very exposed, but rarely fights are there. Mitsu, nothing much. Unazawa, nothing much because there's not a lot of high ground there, but you can still shield yourself between buildings right there. Yak Marina, especially the CO there when the map's getting smaller. Hopefully it's not in the sea, because if you don't have power, you're gonna have a hard time. You'll be able to jump and do a couple of slash. On the 2 island, very fun place to be playing. Still have a bit of high ground. Alpha Tower, okay, but if you don't have power leap on the other side, you actually have problem getting up on top. So you gotta use this bridge, and it takes a lot of time to actually go there. When you're using Arthur, right? If you take Blade Master into power, you're gonna have a lot of hard time right over here. It's gonna take a lot of time going up, especially on me as well. Plaza is okay, City Hall still not bad. The Extreme Sprout, unlike TDM, there's a one spot that's very high, so without Power Leap you're gonna have a hard time. So yeah, to keep that in mind, Sunset is a cool place to watch out people on the Ferris wheel. The island on top is okay, train station's okay, school okay, Westville okay. The skyscrapers here is very bad. Port, very dangerous place as well, especially against Gabriel or Kuma when they have the high ground. You have the high ground doesn't really make much difference because they can actually shield themselves from a lot of things there. Because Arthur is a mech that you really want to approach on close range. Now, last but not least, before we get down, I guess we'll talk about his strength and weakness, and then we'll get to how to fight each mech individually. Now, his strength, he has triple dash, he has stun, he has double jump, no reloading, but reloading is kind of slow. Play well as an aggro and a mid DPS. Easy to close in distance, and he's very fast, especially when rushing for core or rushing to their teammates. His weakness, low ammo, only 6, and has a very low cooldown. Consume a lot of fuel. He has to play close or mid range to be very effective. Long range is okay, especially when in team play, when you have people distract, so you can use your EMT to stun them. So Arthur has a lot of bug. Sometimes his rolling slash activates on its own on the PC, and then his double jump. Sometimes it's only one jump, but it consumes 2 fuel. He can fly, and when you're playing on terrain, it's okay. He can actually slide up, but if you're playing on skyscrapers, he can get up, but it takes a lot of time. But when the circle is small, it's very hard. His EMT are slow, and he's very dependent on core. So again, emphasize on if you have a team, just tell them give the freaking call to Arthur, man. Alright, we jump down to versus Individual Mecha. Alright, Arthur versus Arthur is basically on experience, on the prediction of an EMT, as well as how familiar you are on your modules build. There's no such thing as EMT is better than Poly or Poly is better than EMT. I've seen people taking out each other still, and I've seen people using Night Core and still taking out the person with Turbojet using the jump pad, utilizing very good. Versus Doomlight, do not let this guy have the high ground. Always get both of him, unless there's really no choice, because if he has a high ground, he's gonna have a shield and he's gonna have a lot of turrets that's gonna be bugging you. If he's on his shield, just go behind him, but he's gonna get down. He's very annoying, just get on top of him. Don't let him get the high ground, alright? Andromeda, very similar to how you fight Hurricane. Run out of fuel, that's the time to fight her, but if you can, get the high ground, because he's gonna have a lot of hard time hitting you as well. Do avoid the javelin. I say save your fuel, whirlwind slash, when you see the post that's going to javelin. Once that's over, maybe start engaging the battle. Firefox, nothing much, very jumpy, but depending on experience with him as well. Do a lot of whirlwind slash, and then only go in once he's done using germinating missiles. But if you're confident that you can take out before he's using germinating missiles, then do it after he's like 40 or 50 HP below. Fire stars, when he turns to Bakugan mode, that's your chance. When he's charging to dash away, that's your chance. Avoid fighting him when he's shooting, because his burning is gonna take you out on a lot of damage. And he actually has a mobility to actually keep up with you as well. Gabriel, after the recent update, I really don't know what to say about Gabriel. He can actually do well in melee now because they increase the damage, especially mid and close range. I would say try to stun him and then slash him. I don't know, just don't let him shoot you. That's what I can say with the recent update. I don't have a lot of experience with him yet with what he is. But before I blink away, you can actually stun him or slash him, right? So if there's a little bit more health before his blink away, even though his shadow is there, it takes some time for him to generate through there, maybe a couple of seconds. So maybe go in right there. I'll steal you out, outspeed him. Go in when you think he's very low on HP, because he has AoE, he's very tanky, he has a lot of HP. Do watch out for his Superman punch, so when playing close range, maybe he can punch you and cause a lot of damage right there. So I would say stun him twice, only to start doing a whirlwind slash. Hurricane, very same thing as Andromeda, slash get on the high ground, but predict where he's going to fly. Some people fly zigzag, some people fly one straight plane. So get used to the EMT speed. The same thing as Andromeda if I did mess it up. Kuma, stun him twice I say, because he has a knockback which is gonna cost you a lot of damage. So yeah, watch out for that knockback. It's same playstyle of Gemini missiles, the same thing for Hurricane, right? When he's using precision guidance or the 6 missiles, when you're using Whirlwind Slash, he's gonna like summon the 6 missiles dealing AoE surrounding you. That's really hurt, man. Neutron Star is something Arthur really have to watch out because first of all, he has a better melee than Arthur. He can actually dodge Arthur's melee by jumping, but Arthur's can't dodge his melee because his melee is actually target locked on. And top of all that, he has a ranged weapon, his SMG. Arthur has his stun, so that's basically it. Usually Arthur wanna fight all the mag close range, but not this guy, man. You wanna fight him a bit long. Once you confirm he's good as yours, then maybe just go in. Raven, very soft. Do watch out for the spread shot. Maybe let him do the spread shot first, and then stun him. Whirlwind Slash. He's very soft, but now do keep in mind that he can hook away now that knockback has been removed. Skylark, do not let this guy go, man. It's so annoying. He's gonna be jumpy about your slash. So again, your slash is gonna have some sort of cooldown, something like that. So do not rush in using your slash. He's gonna glide, so save your slash. Your slash actually has some bar before it goes into cooldown mode. And then predict where he goes, just like Hurricane. Predict where he's going, jumping or something like that. And then save your dash and Whirlwind Slash to dodge away from his hunt. Last but not least, Trio, do not fight him at all. I think same thing as Hostile. Stun him a couple of times, get on the high ground because he cannot fly unlike Hostile. So yeah, that's basically it. What I want to cover, guys. My basic opinion about Arthur is that he's basically the same playing from mobile as well as on the PC. He's very simple to master, maybe because I'm his main, but I think I explained everything through what I wanted to say in this video. So if you have any problem regarding Arthur, you're welcome to post on the video on the comment section below. I don't usually want to make this long video, but I actually want to explain a lot of things about him because I have been doing very poorly on the Raven and as well as the Neutron Stars video. So I apologize if the video is too long. Leave a like if you find this helpful, and as well as subscribe to this channel if you want to see more of SMC content. And a word of advice, keep your wallet for the anniversary. Again guys, I'm Master Penguin, and I'll see you all next time on my next video.